morning. Welcome to the Media Roundtable. It is a Friday and we're excited to have a panel of distinguished, panelists right here that are going to be breaking down what they're seeing. One of my panelists asked that they don't feel the election fever, and I am thinking, really? Maybe you're on a totally different side of the coin. Those who are in it should be feeling the fever as much as they can be able to. And of course, away from that, there is also a big conversation regarding voter education. When you look at the number of spoiled votes, I think in the last election, we had about 407,000 spoiled votes. About 301 or 305,000 spoiled votes. But in the previous 2016, we had about 407,000. One would say they were reducing, the numbers were reducing, but do we have to go that extra mile? Do we have to have such hundreds of thousands of spoiled ballots just because someone was not told how to be able to vote? That if you don't like Mildred, please don't put a cross on her and then tick Joel. Just go ahead and put your tick on Joel, and your ballot will be taken in. So voter education remains a very key concern, as much as civic education itself remains a key concern in the country. How do we go about that? It's a conversation that we'll be having here on the Media Roundtable. But also, is it opposition clampdown? Is it a message being sent? Is it victims of circumstance, those who have been arrested? That's a conversation we also want to be getting into. But of course, many political players have talked against the role of the armed forces in the election cycle. Remember, elections are not the event, are not that day when you go to, to elect whichever leader you want to. It's an entire process, from Electoral Commission announcing the roadmap and the way they handle the entire roadmap. So we'll be delving into that and much more right here on the Media Roundtable. Allow me introduce to you my guests. And I always say, unless there is danger, I will always start with the women. Charity Ahimbisiwe Kalebo, of course, she's been in this election conversation for quite a bit, wanting to move away, but we still get to pull her back and forth. Charity, a good morning to you.
A very good morning, Mildred, and all our viewers. Happy to be on the Media Roundtable.
It's a pleasure having you. And right next to Charity is Isaac Kayonde. Great to have him because he's also tested the waters of politics. And, it's great to speak from experience. Isaac, it's a pleasure having you. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mildred, and good morning, listeners and viewers.
Good morning to you. And of course, we have Richard Chintu. This is my debut with Richard Chintu, and it's a pleasure. He's a former editor with the Red Paper, but still a practicing journalist. I know that once one, always one, whether you're practicing online, but you're still a journalist. Richard, it's a pleasure having you. Say hello to our viewers.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers. It's a pleasure being here.
A pleasure having you. And of course, I have Counsel Joel Mukisa right here with me. I was asking him when he's getting to the courts, when he will be enrolling and everything else. But he's also a journalist. That doesn't take it away. Good morning to you, Joel.
Good morning, Mildred. Good morning, viewers. The pleasure is all mine. Mildred, to be a lawyer assumes that there is rule of law under which you can practice.
So why did you go to law school, I would ask?
No, you discover midway that I'm neck deep. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if every other lawyer thinks the same way, but at least, yes, you get to read, you get to understand, you get to know what is supposed to be done, even probably when it's not being done at the end of the day. Okay, welcome to the conversation itself. Let me ask something simple in like 1 minute for each of my panelists. Let me start with you, Joel, because you seem not to feel the political heat. Do you see us in the real murky waters of politics? Because it's just a few months to go. We are having nomination of presidential candidates, I think, next week, but 23rd, 24th.
No, I don't feel the pressure. I don't think that there's been enough mobilization. And surprisingly, even for the NRM, I know the president has been doing some tours which are disguised campaigns, but I don't feel that on the side. They
launched official portrait, the slogan.
Yeah, those are, yeah, I don't.
They had primaries.
Yes, but I don't feel it in the rest of the country. It has not percolated in the rest of the country, where most of our people live, who are largely peasants.
Okay, I don't know what Richard thinks. Do you feel are you feeling the aroma from the kitchen of politics?
Definitely, I think This year, this election cycle is a bit strange because, like Joel says, you do not feel that that fever.
One would ask, what kind of fever do you want to feel when it is not you?
Yeah, of course, you know, in Uganda, the political fever is felt both in the pocket for the rest of Ugandans. You'll find businessmen. It's the businessmen who always tell you that we are in the political season. By increasing sales, I think from the money from the campaigns and the related electoral activities. But right now, there is nothing in that regard. And then also, I think it is also down to the repression, I should say, that we are seeing, especially the involvement of the security forces in the elections. They are making it a very tense situation for everyone. And I think that is also now cascading into the general public. So if Joel says that he doesn't feel the aroma, I would agree with him. We haven't seen it yet. Okay,
Isaac, is it different on your side, or where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, from experience, there have been 2 or 3 factors that have occasioned this dampness. Even on ground, the mood is not as it was in 2021. Okay. Other than the NRM, it has been, the factors have really been around the Electoral Commission, which has been changing different dates for different activities. You'll find that we had NRM, we had our primaries, I think, in July. Usually nominations for the general elections happen in September for MPs, but they were extended to October 15th or something. Then the presidential will come probably before, at the end of this month. So it has been a slow process. I think also that the fact that, that the Electoral Commission was, many parties also have not really nominated the candidates to start. And even the nominations that are happening now, there is this whole thing of you're being nominated, but the campaigns will start in November. So there's a way Electoral Commission has kind of dampened the election fever. And I think
in the way they organize the different activities? Yeah,
in the way they were organizing or the instructions they are giving to all these activities. For example, I mean, we are doing the local government nominations, but the instruction is there are no campaigns now, you will start in November. The presidential nominations have now come ahead of the members of parliament, which I think the nominations for the president are coming around the 23rd of this month. Nomination for members of parliament is around October 15th. So you find that the mood on the ground would ordinarily be moved by members of parliament, because once they go on the ground, then you start seeing all these activities. So I find it, then also, a huge part of it is the population is also voter apathy. There are people who are really disinterested in the election. I'll give you an example for us in NRM. In Gomba West, we have about 70,000 registered NRM members, and only less than 10,000, only less than about 12,000 came to the polls. You know, so you find that, of course, that was also deliberate, depending on the kind and quality of the election that we have. Okay. But you can see that it's a difficult situation.
So what does it look like on your side, comparing with the other elections in the past?
I am so happy that the panel here has exonerated what we said from 2021. We did mention to the Electoral Commission that, look, democracy in itself, apart from what Mwenda has written, because his democratic lens is skewed, and I want to have coffee with him to let him understand that there is more than one scholar that talks about democracy. Democracy in itself has 4 key tenets, one of them being civic participation. And this is Larry Diamond. He says, and he's one of the key writers for democracy, he says civic participation is key for us to gauge how a democracy is doing. So if my fellow panelists are saying there is poor civic participation, you can see that in the past, civil society organizations came together and always mobilized. We had mobilization campaigns. We had what we call omulembegwa digital, tosulawo kalulu ko gendo kuba kalulu, chisoboka, vote issues, not wolokoso, topowa. All these were voter mobilization campaigns. They were calling you.